Welcome to the 5 Stars podcast, brought to you by our sponsors Stealth Competitions, joined by Barry Ferguson and Ian Durrant. A couple of games to dissect over the last week. We'll start off with Roma. Not a brilliant result, Ian, again away in Europe.
Yeah, I thought they were a wee bit too good for us tonight. You could see the class they have, and that's why they're at the top of Serie A. They're up there on merit, and I thought we got a wee bit less in terms of football. They looked a lot stronger. The potent cause up front, the Ukrainian boy who looked a right good player, and I just thought it was a step too far for us.
What was your thoughts in the game, Barry?
I agree with Durrant. Listen, sometimes you've got to just hold your hands up and say they were a level above. Look, no doubt the boys gave it everything. They tried their best, but you could see once they went 2-0 up, they just seen the game out. They look very comfortable, and you can see why they're one of the favourites. They're a top team. They've got top players. I just thought we could have done a wee bit more at times, but at the end of the day, look, no arguments. The better team won.
Is this a game that we look back a year or two ago that you think when you go into the game you think we've got a chance here? You know, we were forced to be reckoned with in Europe for a time.
You always think we always had a chance, but the chance in obviously last week as well. But again, in these games you've got to score the first goal, and it's important because now just get in front and obviously hang on to the game. But a year ago we probably were a different proposition, I think, in terms of the experience we had in now Europe. But this year it's good experience for some of the boys coming up against a calibre player like that, stand them in good stead, and then now, which we'll talk about in a wee minute, took on a game on Sunday. But it's good coming against these teams, because the manager will probably learn more in defeat than he probably would now in terms of if we're beating now Durrant and that. He'll find out against Roma who can get and what positions you'll need to try and fill in January.
Do you think a game like that last week just was a bit too early for Danny Rowell?
Yeah, you could say that, because it's obviously he's only been in through the door a couple of weeks. But Durrant is right in what he's saying. You learn a lot sometimes in defeats when you're coming up against a higher calibre player. And you could see the difference. There was a lot of inexperience. There's a lot of boys that have played in Europe before. And hopefully these games, albeit it's been disappointing the results we've had, that they'll learn their lessons, and hopefully they'll gain good experience for it, and we'll get better as the games go on, because we've got a few more games left, and hopefully we can get a couple of points on the board, because the league table doesn't look great, does it? We're sitting bottom, so ideally we'd like to get a few points on board.
What players are you looking at in games like that to step up to the plate? You know, the ones with a bit more experience that you think could maybe have done more for us?
No, you're talking. We're asking now. We Moore team now getting a big experience. I said now playing against a really good team, some really good players. Shemeti now again, young boys now come up against now, which now a typical Italian defence. Can he unlock them now? Troy's learning the games. Gasman coming on now, and Ant-Man. Great experience for him playing against now a calibre team like Roma, and it will still stand. I know now, as Barry says, that the league doesn't look too good, but it stands in good stead playing against a calibre team like that. Because as I said earlier, now you'll find out a lot about your players.
You think there's a bit of a lack of leadership there in a big game like that, or is it just they're a much better side and just take it as a big learning curve?
A bit of both. We have got good experienced guys who have been through it before, like Jack Butland, Tav, Nico. But also, you've got to remember, we've got a lot of players that have never sampled Europe before, and it's a different ball game, and you're coming up against a different type of player, a different calibre of player. And again, listen, sometimes, as I said, it's tough with a defeat, but sometimes if you've got to be honest with yourself, you just look and think they were a level above. You could see the way they defended, they played within themselves at times. I just thought at any stage they could step it up, but hopefully with the remaining games we've got, we'll gain experience for a game like playing against Roma, and as I said, we can get some points on the board.
Is there anything that they can take from that defeat? If anything, obviously playing a good side in Roma, is there anything that they can take forward that they think quite positive? Obviously we lose the 2 goals early in the first half, and obviously don't concede again in the second half. Is there anything we can take from that positively?
You tell a lot of positives now. I'm looking at the young boys getting experience, as I said, now playing in that arena. Now the crowd were there again on Thursday again. They were magnificent. Try to now get the team going, but sometimes Barry says you've just got to go that here, hold your hands up, they're no bad. and but good experience for me. Now you're Tav and that. They kept going, but we've just not got that bit of class Rome I've got in terms of they can see games out. And as I said, we needed to get that early goal, and that might have settled us down a wee bit. Now you never know, you hang on, but when you go behind, you're chasing your tails, and it was a wee bit of less than first half, but we rallied second half and showed a wee bit more determination without really creating anything. But as I said, that will stand him. And now Danny will find out, and he's finding out quickly again. Now the games are coming quite fast and thick for him, and he'll find out what he's got in his locker.
Have you met up with Danny yet? Have you seen him at the club?
No, I've not bumped into him, but I've got to be honest with you, I've been really impressed by how he comes across, how he speaks in the media. He's very positive. That's what you want, because obviously before he came in it was really negative, the feeling round about the club, but he's definitely brought some positivity, and you can see the difference in the players. Albeit, look, we're talking about Roma Thursday night, it was a disappointing result, but one thing about the boys is they kept going, they kept trying, and that's all you can ask. And as I said, you come up against just a better team on the night. Look, they're playing in Serie A. I think they're sitting a point off the top. You look at some of the players, and bear in mind they were missing three. They're better players, I like the way he's went about his business. I like the way he comes across, and you can certainly see the difference in certainly some of the players.
You managed to bump into him yet, Ian?
I just said hello, passed in the corridor, and I just wished him all the best. But he's got enough on his plate without now starting to talk to me in the bar without being now disrespectful. But like, he's got a job to do. I'm sure we'll meet up in time. But just now, he's coming at a good time now. He's went through the whirlwind of getting the manager's job, playing a few tough games. Now he can get a wee break, a wee bit of family time, recharge his batteries, and then we can come back again. And long may it continue, because now what we're going to talk about is Sunday's game. I thought they were magnificent.
Well, that's it. Let's go on to that, because a Dundee away, that's a game a few weeks ago you'd have maybe been looking at thinking, right, what's going to happen here? But they came out confidently. I thought they played quite well.
They did, and listen, 2 goals in the first 14 minutes, it calms everything down. I thought we were in control. I thought we eased ourselves through the game. Dundee, a lot of people are going on about Dundee with the poor eye. They were poor, but that's down to Rangers, the way that Rangers played in the first half. I thought we moved the ball really well, players interchanging positions. We looked at real danger going forward. It looked as if we could score more goals in the first half. Second half it kind of petered out a wee bit, but when it petered out a bit, Rangers were still in control of the situation. Maybe a wee bit of tiredness came into effect for Thursday night, but overall I thought we ran over the top of Dundee. We got the third goal towards the end, and it was thoroughly deserved. The only disappointing thing is we never scored more goals.
Some good individual performances in there as well. Nico, Gisama, quite a few of them playing well individually.
Nico, he took the game right
Mikey
from
as well, obviously.
Right from start, and we'll talk about wee Roger. He was magnificent. He's looking like 007 now, by the way. He's come on to a game. But Nico sets the tone. I don't know if you remember, he wins a tackle right away, sets the tone, gets him on the back foot. And don't be kidded with the result, by the way. That was a similar team that beat Celtic 2-0 a couple of weeks ago at Dens. And so fair play to Rangers after a tough, as Barry said, tough European tie. They went, but they started the game on the front foot. And that's now, you can give a bit of leeway in the second half, obviously, by tiredness. But Nico, front post, magnificent air. And as I said, we Mikey Moore, great goal. Takes it, early touch, bang away. And then he was unlucky again. Now his second goal just been offside. But he's starting to look the part now. Raskin again. Diamondi looked a bit more like himself, and the bonus now on the day is a clean sheet as well.
What do you think's changed for the likes of Mikey Moore putting in a performance like that? He wasn't really kicking a ball under the last coach.
He wasn't, and obviously there was a lot getting said about him. You've got to remember he's only 18, but I think he just looks as if he's got a bit of freedom. No. He's obviously playing the right hand side, but he was coming inside and picking up wee pockets. It was hard to pick up, and I think the last couple of weeks, I think the young man's been really good. You can see the potential in him, and you see the confidence. I thought, as Durrant just said there, I thought he took his goal brilliantly. I thought on the ball we looked a real danger. He was always positive, wanted to drive forward. And it's not just Mikey Moore. I think there's quite a few players that have certainly taken a lot of confidence of the new manager coming in. And it was good to see Nico back to his best. I thought he looked the player that I know he can be, driving for the middle of the pitch. Scored a brilliant goal. A lot of people going about the size, but he's brilliant in there. he's a real danger for set pieces. So overall, brilliant day at the office. And the only disappointing thing for me is it's international break. There's a couple of weeks before the next game. We're starting to motor a wee bit domestically. 3 wins on the bounce, so we need to wait another couple of weeks before the next game.
Barry talking about good in the air. Nico Raskin's another one that's good in the air for being one of the shorter players in the park. He's another goal for him at the weekend. Incredible. Just gets himself in the positions.
I was a bit taken aback, Michael, when I met him. Now he's not as small as you think, but right. he's got some spring. It was great, and he times see the front post runs, and I know it's all about the delivery, but he gets there, and then the old one, if you've not got people in the post, then it makes the keeper's job a wee bit harder now. But Nico took advantage, and great head on the corner.
And the good thing as well, we're scoring goals all around the team. Obviously, you look to your number 9s.
Yep.
They're going through a bit of a barn spell at this moment in time, so it's good to see goals coming from different positions. 3 different goal scorers, all midfielders. So when your number 9s are not scoring, it's important that other people stand up, and that's what certainly they've done on Sunday.
We hope to see a bit more from Miovski at the weekend. Didn't really get going.
He put a lot. He put a lot of work in without now getting his rewards. And his rewards, as Barry said, the number 9. He needs to score goals. And at the present moment, I think they've been critical. He's not really getting into positions. We're creating a lot of chances now from set pieces. When Gassama and me Roger, their goals obviously outside the box, but they hit them well. But being a centre forward and being an iconic number 9, you need to be scoring goals. And as Barry touched on earlier, that was the only disappointing. I think we never scored a lot more than 3 because we probably should have.
Ian's right. Bojan Miovski's work rate is second to none, isn't it? It just needs to put it in the back of the net.
See, in terms of Miovski and Chermiti and Danny as well, you can't fault that they're trying their best. They're just going through one of those spells that unfortunately number 9s go through, and they're struggling to find the back of the net, and that's where the pressure builds for them. As I say, all they need's a wee bit of luck, something off their backside, a ricochet or something, and then if something like that goes in, then hopefully they can kick on. But when your number 9s are no scoring, they're going to obviously get the headlines and be put under a bit of pressure. But the most important thing is there's goals in the team for other positions.
Certainly helping with the performances from some of the other players in the team. As a striker, how are you looking at that when there is other guys banging balls in the back of the net?
I'd be frustrated, because that's what he's paid to do, and that's what they want to do. They always want to score goals. But I'm sure that now collectively as a team, when you see that now the spine of the team, we speak about it, Butland and Suter and Cornelius look as though now they could form a good relationship. Now you've got Raskin, and Diamondi. The rest of it now, all the bits of jigsaw fall in, and it's not as though we're not creating chances. And Barry will say it might take something daft, honestly, now come off his backside some one of these days, and then he pops goals. And once he pops the goals, he'll get a boost, and hopefully can kick on from it. But at the present moment, we can't now. His work rate's fantastic, but as a centre forward, you need to be scoring goals.
Other great performances in the team. Gassama took his goal well. That seems to be his wee trademark, cutting in and scoring another cracker.
Again, he's definitely a game changer. I still think there's more to come for him. I'm going to be greedy, and I want to see more, because there's a difference maker in there. You can go and a wee bit of magic, beat a couple of players, and the finish on Sunday is lovely, and he likes that one, cutting in for the left hand side. But I want to see more for him, because I think there's certainly more to come. But he's definitely, since he's come in the summer, he is a player that's going to excite fans, that's for sure.
We seem to see a lot of Gassama at the start, and then just sort of going through a wee lull, and then wee moments of magic in the game against Dundee. Yeah,
well, he certainly came out the traps very quickly. Obviously in Europe, scoring the goals. Then obviously now, I don't know if he was carrying injured or took a wee bit of a dip, but he's certainly one, as Barry said, in the final third. He can create, and he can obviously score. And the positive thing in on Sunday was now you'd be Mike Moore and Gassama. Now when they're up, you see them running at pace. Now they get the defenders on the back foot, and he's popped in again. And again, he'll get another wee boost for scoring a great goal. And it was a cracker, a great feet, quick move, quick feet, and then bang! He just hits it so quick the keeper can't see it.
Yeah, we need to feed them the ball a wee bit more as well. You know what I mean? Leave them 1-on-1, because I'm sure defenders are not like playing against them. And as I said, he can get inside, he can go outside, he's got a trick, and he's got a finish. And he's a player that I think there's more to come for. And the good thing about a wide player is he's got goals in him as well, which is important.
And you think he'll maybe enjoy having a bit more freedom on the park as well under the new manager? There didn't seem to be a lot of freedom to anyone with the previous regime, but Danny seems to be doing that with his squad now.
A lot of Michael's doing the results, and there is now. And now there was an uneasy atmosphere at the club at the time. Now, don't get away from it. And it creates a maybe a stigma for the player, the nerves. But just now they seem to play with a lot of freedom. Did Gassama play with Danny Rowe?
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, you can see now. So they've got a good relationship there, and he knows what he knows what the gas man can do. And he seems to be now. There is a lot of freedom in the team just now. It's like one step forward, one step back in terms now. We've had a good result in the league. Now we come up against a team like Roma. Then now maybe a month ago we were probably feeling sorry for Sale after the Roma game, but it certainly was that on Sunday. And now we come out and we're bang at it. And now you can maybe the manager's releasing. He's keeping that back four solid again. Obviously Butler in good form, and the rest are going to express themselves.
He was coming off on Sunday as well.
He was just about to come off, I think. I heard the commentator saying that.
Lyle Cameron was coming on and Cornelius went down with an injury, but he's a player that's going to excite the fans. We just need to feed him the ball a wee bit more and let him go and do his stuff.
It's been good seeing Conor Barron doing quite well as well recently.
Listen, I thought, going back a couple of weeks, Hibs away, I thought he was the best player in the park by a country mile. Listen, you know what you're going to get for Conor, 100%, but a lot of people don't understand he's a really good football player as well. He can handle the ball, he's got a good passing range, and I think he's a big player for Rangers. I know he never started, but you've seen when he come on in the second half. I really like him for the middle of the pitch. He can play either that anchor or he can play a bit further forward. So I think there's, again, similar to Gassama, I think there's more to come for Conor, and hopefully he can improve under this new manager.
James Tavernier, another big important player for the club. He's out of contract the end of this season, but another great delivery for Nico's goal. And just how important is he for that squad?
He's what the captain should be. Something to be man to my right here now. He epitomises what the captain should be. He's there now. Barry's told you about it numerous times on the podcast about him in training. Doesn't miss in training, never misses a game, and he pops up now. His assists and his goals for Glasgow Rangers must be frightening now in terms of the stats. And again, he's always there, and that's what you want in your captain. He makes sure you can see it's a young team I've got just now. So now you need like your Butlands, your Souters, and especially Tav, and now they've got experience. But you can certainly see now he looks as though he's enjoying himself now. I know now he's 34 now, but he's fit as a fiddle. So he'll be playing for a few more years yet. Don't worry, and hopefully be at Rangers.
Everything you'd want from a captain, Barry?
Yeah, listen, I've seen it with my own eyes when I worked with him, and listen, he's always up for debate, and I don't understand why. I'll be brutally honest. Maybe it's labelled at him he's not won enough trophies as captain, but I tell you what, see, as a player, he gives you everything. He's got real good quality, looks after himself, always available, doesn't buckle under pressure, and look, he's at the start of the season it must have been hard for him, because remember he was out of the team, but you never heard a moan or a groan from him. I know what he would have done. He would have kept his head down, went and worked as hard as possible on the training ground, and we've seen how much we missed him, and he's a real driving force, and I'm delighted for him. And we're going on about Nico scoring the header. It was a great header, but the delivery's pinpoint. That's what he can do for the wide areas.
Talking about a lack of trophies, it doesn't fall on one man though, does it?
No, you've got to share responsibility. It's a team game right from now. Comes from the fans. It starts with the fans, then on to now. Everybody's involved. It's not. It can't be labelled just at one person. I know, as Barry said, comes a bit of criticism because he's the captain, but that's what happens. He's been in a position that they've been in positions where he's probably should have had more medals, but unfortunately now that's the name of the game. Now he never got them, but it'll not be for want of trying with Tav. Don't worry about that.
Mikey Moore's other disallowed goal. I thought he was unlucky, to be honest. I think Diomandi's in the road, but the keeper actually saves that one, so the keeper's seen it.
So see if you actually watch it, the keeper goes to the side and he's got a clear view of the ball. I know Dio's in an offside position and he lets it through his legs, but you see the keeper moves to see Danilo, I think it is, it has the shot, And look, the rule's in place that it should be disallowed, but I think we need to look at that rule. Similar with another game after it, the Man City Liverpool was the same with Van Dijk, but I think the two of them are goals.
Yep, for me, they're both goals.
Yep, I agree with that as well. It's the fact that the keeper still made the save with Diomande in front of him. So
the keeper's got a clear view. If you watch the keeper, he can actually see Danilo hitting the ball. So there again,
it's how long it takes as well.
That took a while.
How can the VAR not just decide there? How did they need to send the ref to
over to the screen as well?
They don't want to take responsibility.
I had a cup of tea in a shape by the time they made the decision.
No, but for me, it's a goal, and I know people are going to come out with rules. That's a rule that needs to be looked at and changed.
I mean, remember the one years ago, I think, was at Liverpool, it was a beach ball in the park or something, and the keepers went to save that. Do you know what I mean? It's not quite as bad as that, but for me, the goals stand. We don't want to go down
But then
that.
before that, there's a handball.
Yep.
Now, I know his arm's close to his body. They never even had a look at that.
We don't want to go down a rabbit hole here with VAR, but just...
No, that's for Brubby. 1-3 up, they're still getting VAR pelters.
Absolutely, but you mean someone surely there's got to just take the bull by the horns and make the decision.
If you look at it in the camera angle, is the camera right up with play in terms of now the line of the bodies? But listen.
But then you look at the Dundee players, and you look at the goalkeeper, he's not even challenging it.
I think looking at players, I mean, obviously a referee can't base it on players' reactions,
but it's because he's made the movement aside. He's clearly seen Danilo hitting the ball. It's went through Dio's legs, but he's made the save. And to be fair, Mikey Moore's sharp, bang on it, and it's a great finish.
Well, for me, the fact that he's made the save means he can see where the ball's going.
Of course it is. But again, that's for another day. We'll be here all night if we're talking about VAR again.
Talking about some of the other younger players in the park, it's good to see them putting in good performances as well, and quite brave performances from them.
I thought Magoma at left back, he had a tough night on Thursday night. He came off. The manager made a change back into the starting lineup on Sunday, and he was up and down that left side. I loved it. We're going on about Gassama's goal. Look at the run he makes.
Yeah.
He charges forwards. You're talking 90 minutes. Where you could just sit back, the game's won, you can see it out, but no, he's wanting to go and make that run to create the space for Gassam to come in and bang it into the net. So it was good to see him put in a good performance.
Lyle Cameron, unlucky not to come on. He was going to come on for Gassama. Gassama gets the goal. Lyle doesn't come on. I think he was a bit upset that he couldn't go on at the park.
I think he was just a tad, because he's been unfortunate with injuries in the last few weeks, and I think he was just, especially being at his old club, I think he'd have wanted to be on earlier, but unfortunately the big Cornelius went down with an injury, so needs must, and had to bring a defender on to cover that up. But again, he'll get game time soon, and this week now, obviously the international week, I think there'll probably be a bounce game arranged for now players that have not been playing regular, so they'll get a bit of game time.
Barry touched on it earlier, it's a tough time for the international break to come. I know we've obviously lost against Roma, but they're a great side. You get a bit of momentum in the league, and then a couple of weeks off, it's difficult. You want to just keep going, don't you, as a player for your club? Again,
but you see it again now. Now you see Celtic beating Kilmarnock, and you see Hearts dropping 2 points, and then Rangers winning. So it bridges the gap in terms of the teams in front of you. Just now, our bread and butter is basically, if you look at it as a league, try to get as many points, try to get a bit of consistency in play. Yes, we'd love a Europa Cup run. We've still got another 3 games to go, but just now it's getting a bit of momentum and winning league games and getting up that league.
We've got a brilliant wee run coming up as well. Couple of home games.
Braga, Falkirk,
Livingston.
Yeah.
Dundee United, I think's in the mix there. So we're building a wee bit of momentum, that Durrant just says there, and we've got some games that are really winnable games. You know, I mean, you've got to respect to opposition, but the way that the boys are playing domestically, I can see them picking up quite a few points over the next month or so.
We've beaten Braga before, obviously different squad to what we have now, but we could do it again, beat them, and win this next group of league games as well. You'd put us in a good position.
Tough game against Braga. Now you'll get a wee certain Robbie Keane coming to Ibrox, then obviously the final game in Porto, and again now 3 really good games to look forward to in terms of Europe now. And Barry said earlier, now we need to start getting some points now. It looks a bit embarrassed me. You think now a couple of years ago we're in a Europa Cup final, now we're the lower echelons of the Europa Cup, and it'd be a great good boost for the not only the club but the fans, because they've been turning out in their numbers, and I think they just want to see a result and maybe get a few points, because I thought the Muro at the Roma game was second to none, and started off a great atmosphere now again, but we shot ourselves in the foot by losing early goals.
Absolutely, just again a great display from the fans in that stand, just phenomenal, wasn't it?
It was magical. It's good. We actually we've seen it.
Seen them setting it up.
They were having the wee practice shot, so we were walking across it. I thought they were going to gives a slapper to it, didn't they?
Big Mark Haley, he was like a big trout, you know, get caught in the net, remember?
I know, but what a display it is. And see, come out and watch it. Come out and watch that actually happen with all the crowd in. It was a great one.
It looked absolutely
magnificent, by the way.
Unreal.
Even the one on Sunday as well. Now that was because I was talking now, they weren't going to allow, but again they turn up, and they're different class for the club in terms of what they produce.
Of course, the day that we film the podcast is Remembrance Day as well, and always massively supported by Rangers, by the fans. Just an incredible thing. The display on Sunday was just fantastic.
Great, and as I said, now it was a good Sunday to remember. I got a wee coupon up, and then obviously Remembrance Day, so it was a really good Sunday. And then today, now we had the Amsterdam at 11 o'clock, and I seen the pictures of all the staff at Auchenhowie. So the club deserved this sort of period really well.
It's always a big part for the club, just getting behind Remembrance and the fallen.
It certainly is. And then you go back to Sunday, I thought the display was just nice in the away end, and obviously the club always do their part, and it's something that the club are proud to do.
Looking ahead then, these big games that are coming up, back in Europe, have we got the depth in the squad? Have we got the squad in general to perform and get us some points on that board?
I think so, and if you look at the games, I think you've got obviously Braga, you've got Ludogorets, I think, you've got Ferencváros, you've got Porto. Porto will be a tough one away, but then I look at the three games, similar to the first three games we had. When the draw came out, I'm thinking, by the way, we can amass a few points here. We've obviously know it's been disappointing, but now it's a different ball game. The players look in a different place, they look in a good place, and hopefully we can get some points on the board, because if you get points on the board, equally it helps the club financially as well, because the club get a bit of money. So I'm confident we can go off the bottom there and climb up. Will we qualify? I think it's going to be difficult, but you never know.
It's a tough position we're in to be able to qualify.
Of course it is, but they can only go out and do the best they can, and the best they can is winning games. So alright, we're coming against good teams, two real tough Portuguese teams, and Ludogorets and Ferencváros, but in any given day, if they turn up with the right mentality, they can win the games. And if you go a wee run like we're going on just now, that'll breed confidence. And if we beat Braga, then you'll fancy your chance against Ludogorets, you'll fancy your chance against Ferencváros, and Porto will be a tough one away, but anything can happen. We've been there before and get results. So confidence makes everything, Michael.
You think Danny's the man to start getting those results in Europe, especially?
Well, in the short period of time, take Bran out the equation, because it was only in a short period, I think a day before he could get things up and running. As I said, I've been impressed the way that he's went about his business. I like the way he speaks. I like the way that he's flexible with the team as well. He's not set on one system. He's willing to go and change it up and surprise the opposition. And early stages he's been impressive, and I like the way that he's starting to get a connect with the fans, because they're the most important people. The players and the staff have to have a connect with the supporters, who are the most important people, should I say. And now we're starting to see that again, and it's good to see, because the fans weren't happy earlier on in the season, and understandably so, because of the results and the performances weren't good enough. But over the short period of time, I know we've had a couple of difficult ones in Europe. The one at Hampden was a sore one to take, but in the league we've shown a bit of promise. So the early stages are I like what I'm seeing, and hopefully we can continue that. And we've still got a lot to play for. We've got a bit of pride to play for, but we're also still in a chance in the league. Scottish Cup's coming up, and now we need to start getting points on the board in the Europa League.
It's been a joy to see tweaking the tactics, the formations as well. Previous regimes, didn't really change anything. So it's been quite good to see that, quite refreshing.
No, it's horses for courses, but even as Barry said, even during the game he's changing. And the players now, it's not as though the players are alien to it, the players are buying into it. So obviously the work doing in the training ground is coming across now. If everything else now, say BC, if plan A is not working, you can see he changes it, but he changes it quick. It's not now he's waiting 35, 40 minutes. Now if he's not working after 15 minutes, he's in there changing, trying to tinker things. So you can see that. But as Barry said again earlier, but the players are buying into it. That's the main thing. And as long as you're buying in it, you can see the progress we're making. And it's onwards and upwards for me. Just keep winning these games. And then that, as I say, the confidence. And then you've got this, now we keep talking about the crowd. Then the crowd comes on board. They've never been away, but the atmosphere then generates everything, and the players get a boost from that.
Do you think the manager doing that during a game puts the belief into the players because, well, they know that he's got the trust in him to do that?
Yeah, and it shows that they've got the trust in the manager also. And they believe in what the manager's putting across. And I know he's flexible in terms of changing the formation, but he's not scared to make changes at half time. If he thinks it's not going well, he's willing to change. Go back to the semi-final against Celtic. I thought it was very brave to go 4-3-2, but I thought that worked. And he clearly understands the game in Scotland, because it's unique up here. It's a tough place to play, and you need to be really solid and not concede goals, and that's what we're showing in the league so far. I think since he's come in, out of the 3 games we've only conceded 1, and that was against Kilmarnock, where we could have avoided that one. But we look a lot more solid, and we look more confident going forward in terms of trying to hit the opposition box, and we look a threat at times as well, which is important.
Those league results have got to be massive for the players' confidence.
Of course, sir, but you touched on it. It's a great word, trust. Trust what you're doing. The players trust themselves now in the park, and they go in and win it. And as we talked about the games, without going overboard and being disrespectful, there's games we can win, and the more games they're winning, the more confidence you get. But you come back to the word you use, trust in what you're doing, and then believe what you're doing, and everything, you become hard to beat.
Psychology, morale, it's such a big part of the game, and to get players over that must be a difficult thing for a manager.
Yeah, you could see before he came in, the manager, that they were struggling mentally. That's natural, because look, the atmosphere round about, whether it was at Ibrox or whether it was away from home, you could sense just everybody wasn't happy with the situation. That happens in football. Rangers decide to make a change, and you can see the difference. I can see it. You can see the fans. They've got a lot more expectations now. They're happy on what they're seeing, and you can see in the players they're starting to grow in confidence. We've named quite a few players, as an example, Mikey Moore. Look, Amy looks just like he's a different animal over the last couple of weeks. So slowly but surely you can see things improving. I like that he's never satisfied. He says, listen, good performance, good win, but we need to keep working harder and keep getting better. And I like that. That's the message that he's sending, not just to the supporters, but certainly the players, and I can see them taking that on board.
So do you think we've got the talent there, we just need the confidence?
Well, that's a big. The talent was never in question, but if your talent's not working, or if your talent's not operating, and as now the key word there, you're talking about confidence. Now we're not winning games, like everything, but now when you get a couple of results, and then you see now, and now obviously the new manager coming in, and we're talking about now that they're expressing themselves. They look as though they're playing with a bit of freedom. You see them now; they're playing with a smile on their face, and that's a big thing. But the confidence is there. But confidence is always there as long as we're winning games. And at Rangers, in fact, now 2 of us are sitting here as if now we're not being blasé, but we know the pitfalls. And now the pitfalls at Rangers, if you're not winning, you're under pressure. And I don't care about what it is. You just need to keep winning, win at all costs. Doesn't matter if it's 1-0 or 6-1 or it's still 3 points, and that's the main thing. And we're getting 3 points, and obviously we're generating a bit of confidence as well.
international break now. So obviously some players away with their countries, other players not, some injured, but some still at the club. Will they get some time off, do you think, and will they still be in doing a bit of training?
I think he'll give him a couple of days off to go and refresh, because there's been a lot of games, but I'm sure he'll use this international period to, I think Durrant mentioned at the start of the pod, that I'm sure there'll be a game or two, just to give guys who have no had many minutes to get up to speed, and also to work on some things. I know it's not ideal, you want all your squad there, but listen, it's just the way it works. International time, players go away with their national teams, but the players that are left behind, I'll certainly do a bit of work in terms of catch up, in terms of minutes, and also in terms of what way he wants to play and what way he wants to go about things.
He's not been in long at all, but where we're at the moment under Danny Rule, you say he's happy so far with what we've seen on the park?
Yes, I'm delighted with what's happened so far, but like anything else, you're always looking for more, and he'll be demanding more of the players. You can see it in his team talks and the way he comes across after the games, and he's putting demands on the players, and the players are meeting the demands. As I said, now they're winning games. Unfortunately, we'll come up against a couple of top European teams, but all beyond that, now he's asked them questions. Went down to 10 men against Celtic. He asked them a question, and they answered it. Unfortunately, now we lost out in the end up, but you can see signs that he was wanting to do. And then the other day there against Dundee, I thought they were excellent. After now a difficult European town, I thought what he's trying to breed into the players is certainly rubbing off them.
No, what I'm seeing a wee bit of aggression and all about the team as well. I don't know if you see that, Durrant. You need that. Listen, there's no doubt they're good players. You need to have a wee bit of fire about you. And I'm seeing that.
There's one you spot on. There's about 4 or 5 minutes. There was a free kick Medley Park, and 3 or 4 of them had to get the ball.
Aye.
And I know what Barry's saying. It's no aggressive tackle, no. It's just getting that ball back, now demanding the ball and keeping that ball. And I'm going, me look no bad today.
I thought that was the same on Sunday. A few players, chasing after the ball.
There's been a few stramashes on the pitch, and I can see all the players in amongst it. If they see their teammate, if they think he's a wee bit of trouble, they're in behind him, got his back. That's what you want to see. That for me is a team that's together. And I think in the short period that the manager's been in, that's what he's brought. And I thought that was missing, if I'm being honest with you. You see, if somebody scored the goal, there was only 1 or 2 going to them. Now you see the full team. Bang, like Nico scores the first goal, the full team apart for Jack, because it's some shift for him to get for the 18-yard box. But I like to see that, and that shows me there's a bit of togetherness. And when you've got a wee bit of togetherness, then you've got a decent chance of being a successful team.
It's good to see that in the squad now. Like Barry says, it was maybe lacking a bit in the past.
We know, Michael, honestly, because see if your dressing room's happy and you have a good camaraderie in the restaurant, it makes the manager's job so easy, because he knows he can rely on people. And I'm not saying the party and all, but you can see it. And then somebody does something, they're all together, and you can't beat that. That's what's all about Rangers, that togetherness. And it's see me form that, get that gel together. It's hard to beat.
And good to see they didn't have to go swimming to get it.
No, I know what they've been doing. They've been working hard in the training ground. You can see that tactically they're disciplined as well. I like that when they've not got the ball. We don't look easy to get through, if you know what I mean. I thought we were too easy to play against previous. But listen, every manager's got a certain way of playing, but I just like the way that he's come in and he's got his very rigid and compact, but on the attack we look a danger, and we look like guys like driving for the middle of the pitch, wanting to get into that box. And if you don't get players in the box, you're going to struggle to score. And early stages are very promising.
For me to see Danny on the touchline, it's quite refreshing. See, he's quite active on the touchline as well.
He's
isn't
a bit lively, isn't he? That's just his demeanour, and that long may it continue. And that's where he is. You can see he's right in. He's with the players. He's with them now on the touchline. He's up and down. But yeah, good on him. If that's what makes him tick, then keep ticking it.
Quite like that active manager in the touchline rather than.
He's driving the players on, and I'm sure when the players are on the pitch, they're sensing that. And you need to be with the players. You know what I mean? You need to show that you're willing to be emotional on the side of the pitch, and you need a bit of emotion on the pitch, and that's what certainly the players are showing. And Look, the thing is with Rangers at this moment in time, we were easy to play against, I thought, and I think we're gradually getting more difficult to play against, because look, if you don't concede, certainly domestically, if you don't concede goals, you've got a better chance of winning games of football. And I thought we were conceding sloppy goals, even for set pieces. I think we look organised, we look more aggressive. You can see players making sure certain players are in certain positions and demanding that, listen, we're not conceding a goal here. I like to see the wee things.
In the league, we have been better defensively under Danny Dow.
Yeah, especially even Sunday on that day. You've seen Dundee rely on their set pieces. They whip in some great balls, and they're a big aggressive team, and we cope with it really well. And I see now, and Butland will be delighted, and in the defence, they'll take pride in that now. The boys that score the goals, but equally the defence will take great pride in getting a clean sheet. And Barry's spot on, if you get clean sheets, 9 times out of 10 you'll win the game.
Got a couple of questions now for you that have been sent in. Ian, this first one's for you. Talking about a game in the mid to late 80s.
1986, Michael.
1986, you scored in an Old Firm. Why is there no footage of it?
I was there. Decent goal.
Barry was there as a kid, and that was my first Old Firm game goal. And we beat Celtic 3-0 at Ibrox, and there was a dispute between the football clubs and BBC, and there was no coverage of any football that weekend. But if you look on, it's on a camcorder on YouTube. If you look at a camcorder and you put it, obviously bump it in, Rangers 3, Celtic 0. And I was fortunate enough that day to score. The great late David Cooper got the second, and there was a bit of debate about the third one. Was it Al McCoist or was it Ted McMinn's? Coisty said it was his, Ted said it was his, so I'll leave it up to you. So come back with your calls. If you look at on the video, come away with it and tell me who scored the third goal, because you can't see it after camcorder.
Barry, you were there. Do you not remember who scored that goal?
No, I can't. I can remember Durrant scoring right enough, and I can remember Rangers battered Celtic.
His brother got injured after about half
and
an hour.
That was the days. That's when I was starting to get right into football. I was just turning 8. That's when I was right into it, and obviously watching all the guys Durrant just mentioned. Obviously he scored, Davy Coopers, McCoy's, big Ted McMinn. I mean, I thought Ted McMinn was brilliant, a brilliant Rangers player, the big tin man.
He didn't know if it was New York or New York.
But see, their days, I loved their days. That was proper, and some of the tackles, man, Jesus Christ, it used to go in.
Yeah.
You would get banned for about 20 games now.
Proper football back in the day, Gianni.
I was Blood and Thunder, and again we played really well that day. But I mean, you see the camcorder footage. You don't know if Coist or Ted scored the third goal, but you can clearly see I scored the first, and also the late David Cooper scored a great drill into the bottom corner. But Coisty, you see Coisty hitting the ball right, and all the fans jumping up, but it hit the barn, and nobody knows what happened. Coisty said it was over the line, but the last person to touch the ball was Ted McMinn, who said it wasn't over the line. So the two of them were arguing after the game. It was brilliant. So it's Coisty's.
I remember the goals back. I loved the old goals.
Oh, the wedding things.
Aye, I used to love them, man.
One is so good when you hit them.
Scale for your leg.
Oh, they were solid. Oh, bang.
Another question we have, it's been sent in, more about the analyst side of the game. So, in the modern day, how much will a manager analyse the previous game and going forward for the next game compared to maybe what it was like under Walter Smith?
Well, under Walter, we never, when he was a manager and I played under him, we never done too much. We done maybe 10 or 15 minutes a day before a game. When I was in last year, it kind of all changed. Bear in mind, you've got 4 analysts who are brilliant, to be fair. So I would take it for a Sunday or a Thursday. Myself and the staff, we would do probably about an hour or 2 between us, and then we'd cut it all down in terms of what way we wanted to play, formation wise, where their strengths and weaknesses were, what we'd do, set pieces for and against. And I was a big believer along with the staff, and they agreed that we try to cut it to 10-15 minutes max, 2 days before a game, a day before a game, and then they would get some an hour and a half before the game. Because you've got to remember, attention span's no great, and I didn't want them sitting in, because I know what I'd be like, and I'm sure Durrant's the same. If you're sitting in and it's 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, you start switching off. So that's the way we done it, and I felt I get the best information across to the players that way, and that's the best way that I took information. And I'm not saying everybody's like myself, but I thought the players took to it, they liked it that way. And then individually, if they wanted to get some information, the analysts were there, who I said were brilliant. They would go and get some footage and show them, or if they wanted it sent through to their iPads or their computers, they would get all the information they needed.
Different from when you were playing as a player and as a coach, how different was the analyst?
It was just the second time now that we started getting a wee bit of it. Now the sports scientist, now me Stevie Harvey come in, who I think worked with Barry with Big Egg, and he came in and started doing me bits. But a lot of the players, as Barry said, went on their own now to pick up certain things, now like set pieces or a positional sense. But the gaffer just used very minimal bullet points along with Coyce and that. And we done a lot of stuff and pre-match. Now it was up on the wall. And now Barry, see, now we've got the screens up where you can put all your stuff, your set pieces, players to watch. Now what they're doing, their set pieces, a lot of them was on now bits of paper. But as the modern game goes now, there's a lot. But you know, you couldn't imagine sitting now. Some, I know there's some in a major borathon, but you couldn't do that. I was a player, my attention span wasn't the greatest, so I couldn't really imagine me sitting in. But stuff needs to be done now, and but a lot of the players take it upon themselves now to go and do their own stuff, which is good, because you've got a lot of people, as Barry said, he had 4 people, so they're getting used in different ways in terms of the players. But under the gaffer, a lot of bullet points, short, sharp, but you had to remember what you're doing right enough.
As a manager and as like a coaching staff, you obviously spend longer with the analysts and go through it, but we kind of just shortened it all down. And I think this might sound crazy, I think you can over analyse a team, and it all becomes about the opposition. You've got to remember about yourselves. So that's the way that we work. 10-15 minutes each day, I thought worked really well.
As always, thanks to Barry and Ian for joining us on the 5 Stars podcast. Now here's Graham from Stealth Competitions with a brilliant competition to tell you about.
Right guys, we've got another exciting opportunity for you this week. As a lot of you will know, it is the Scottish Masters up in Aberdeen on Friday, and this week we are giving you the chance to win a signed Rangers shirt from all the legends that will be playing. There's Cammy Bell, Kirk Broadfoot, there is Maurice Ross, Lee McCulloch, Barry Ferguson, Nacho Novo. They're all going to be there. Martin Waghorn as well. So they will all sign this shirt, and it could be yours for just £5 a ticket. Head over to the site, get your tickets, and best of luck.